Hey guys, we are in the basement today. Yes, today guys, on this episode of John's Arcade. Well guys, we're doing something very exciting, something very Nintendo-ish. Yeah, I'm kind of a Nintendo fanboy. Anyway, this is kind of a John's Arcade tech video, an install video, and also a gameplay video. And yeah, by the way, Robotron's still down. I kind of moved it to the side. I ordered the parts. We're gonna work on it this weekend and fix the power supply, hopefully. So subscribe if you wanna see that. Anyway, let's go over here. What are we gonna talk about? Well, I'll tell you, we're gonna talk about Donkey Kong Jr. And actually first, before we talk about that, let's talk about Donkey Kong. Now, Donkey Kong is my favorite game in the whole wide world, period, the end, okay? It's actually the first arcade game I ever got about 10, 11 years ago, whatever it is. And when I got it, it was just vanilla Donkey Kong, as Nintendo made it in 1981. It didn't do anything but play Donkey Kong. It didn't save scores. It didn't have free play with the track. It was just Donkey Kong. Original hardware, awesome, amazing, but it didn't have a lot of features that were good for the home, okay? Namely, high score save and free play with the track. Anyway, a couple years or a year or so after I got my Donkey Kong, this guy Brazington, okay, made a little daughter board, okay, that plugged into the original game PCB that actually added high score save, amazing, and also free play with the track. And actually, right now it's doing that. That's what's in there, and you can see, okay? Then a year or two after that, okay, this guy, Jeff Kowalski, I believe is his name, he came out with a thing called D2K, okay, and it was a ROM set that actually plugged into the Brazington high score save that added a new amazing version of Donkey Kong. That's right, a sequel, a fan-made sequel to Donkey Kong, using, again, the original hardware and everything, just basically a new ROM set using the original sprites and really just a reimagined version of Donkey Kong. It was freaking amazing. I was so addicted to it. It was so hard, so challenging, but fair. I really liked Donkey Kong 2. Anyway, and actually, you can see here, to switch to Donkey Kong 2, you basically just hold down these two buttons right here, and then the Brazington board switches to the other ROM set, and you can kind of see it's kind of loading right now. So this is D2K, okay? So I had this for a few years, and I loved it. I played it a lot, very challenging, lots of fun, honestly, okay? Then, about 5-6 years later, okay, and then John Kowalski up in Canada, okay, makes another version of Donkey Kong, okay, like D2K, you know, basically using the original sprites and all that stuff, but just using those kind of parts like Legos to make new levels and new challenges, okay. He releases this called Donkey Kong Remix, and actually he did it on the Tandy Color computer first, and then ported that to the arcade using the arcade hardware, and that's what's in here right now. Actually, I have two daughter boards, okay. I have the Brazington daughter board, and then on top of that, I have John's daughter board that has DK Remix, and actually we could switch to that. So in here right now, I have 4 versions. So if I hold down jump, okay, it will switch to Donkey Kong Remix, okay? And again, it's a lot like D2K. It's new levels, new challenges. I do think Donkey Kong Remix is a little slicker, maybe a little more polished than D2K. Both are good, both different challenges, but I think DK Remix is a little bit better. So anyway, so here we are. We have Donkey Kong, and I have actually 4 versions of Donkey Kong, and this is Remix right here. We have Remix in here. If I hold down jump, actually, it'll switch to another version called Deranged, which is even harder. It's kind of like the original Donkey Kong, but more hardware that John made. So as you can see, we have a lot of Donkey Kong. There's actually 4 versions, again, in this cabinet, right? Donkey Kong 2, Donkey Kong Remix, Donkey Kong Deranged, and Vanilla Original Donkey Kong. That's a lot of Donkey Kong. So I've always thought to myself, my God, why doesn't someone make like a sequel to Donkey Kong Jr., kind of like what Jeff and John did for Donkey Kong? And actually, way back when we interviewed Jeff Kowalski on the Video Game Outsiders podcast, I actually said to him, please make Junior next, make a sequel to Junior. Well, it never happened until now, because John Kowalski, okay, the guy that made Remix, has now released, okay, or is about to release Donkey Kong Junior Remix. And he actually sent me a little daughter board. We're going to install it in this episode. We're going to play us a new sequel to Donkey Kong Jr. And guys, I'm super excited. Like mega, mega excited. And actually, before we start, let's kind of talk about my machine right here, because In here, I have an original PCB with the Brazington high score save and free play with the track little daughter board plugged into the board, okay? And then also, next to that, I have a Donkey Kong 3 PCB, and they're connected with a little hardware switcher that Mark Spaeth actually never really released. Kind of a beta piece of hardware. And actually, if you come in here and just kind of hold down player 1, player 2, and jump, it'll switch to the other board. So I actually have Donkey Kong 3 and Junior in this cabinet. So, all right, so let's go over here and kind of talk about the hardware, okay? And it's a little daughter board, just like all of these little mods, okay? Brazington, DK Remix, they're all kind of very similar. And here's the daughter board right here, okay? And this thing right here basically plugs into the Z80 socket on the original PCB. And what you do is you remove the original Z80 and you plug it into this, and then you plug this into the Z80 socket. Now, if you look here, you can see that it says on the corner here, DK Remix, okay? So this is essentially the same daughter board he used for Donkey Kong Remix, except the programming code has changed here. And this is some little chip that I don't think it's possible to read it. I'm sure he's kind of protecting the code. This is not going to be in MAME anytime soon. So anyway, that's basically it. So we're going to install this really quick. I think this should go very simple. Now we're going to have to remove my Brazington high score save kit, which is not a big deal because this thing also will add high score save and free play with the track. So we're getting all of that Brazington functionality, so we just don't need that kit anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove all these toys off the top of my game here. So much junk. So let me remove this. I'm gonna pull the game out and we're just gonna kind of get to work. All right, so I got the game out, so let's go ahead and remove the back door. Now, I don't have the original lock. It's just kind of screwed on here. The game is on right now, so we're gonna have to turn it off here in a second. And we need a bigger... All right. I have not been in here in a while. I think the last time we were in here is when we installed that switcher. Okay, so here's the inside of the cabinet. And you guys could see down here, okay, we have two boards installed, okay, 1 and 2. And I kind of added like a custom bracket. Now, this is not your typical install, okay? You're not going to usually find two boards in here. Now this board, let's take a look here. So this one right here, okay, so this is our Donkey Kong Junior board, and then the board back here is my DK3 board. And up here, actually, I have an edge connector adapter that basically converts, again, this is another Mark Spaeth special at Cambridge Arcade. So let me just kind of show you my setup here, which is really not standard. So typically what you're going to find is a bunch of little connectors everywhere, okay? Now I don't have that because I'm using the edge connector. So if you find the edge connector, basically just unplug it. Actually, let me turn the game off real quick. You're just going to disconnect the board right here, okay? If you find the little connectors, okay, like right here, 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 you know, like one's for the coin door, one's for the controls, one's for the power, for the sound, you're going to want to disconnect all those little connectors. Take photos if you're not sure. But mine has an adapter on here, so all my little connectors are actually on the top here. So yeah, this is kind of not your typical install here, or setup. So right here, all my little connectors are going to this adapter, and the adapter's going into the little switcher thing. So, okay, I just disconnected the board, basically by just removing this edge connector right here. Actually, the camera stopped recording, so I don't know what happened. Anyway, all I did was I just disconnected the edge connector, and then the board is free, okay? Now, normally, again, the standard setup on an early Donkey Kongs would have all little connectors right here, okay? And you would just disconnect all those little connectors. The later Donkey Kong Juniors maybe had just the edge connector right here and did not use those little connectors. And also, if you have the edge connector, you're gonna find this rainbow cable, because if you put the edge connector here, power's only getting to this board, it's not getting to the other side. So they added this little rainbow connector, they called it, and actually the original one, it was a bunch of rainbow colored wires, okay? And it would basically bring power from this side to that side. You will not typically find this if you've got the little connectors, because you would basically connect power here and also power there with separate connectors. Now, if you see here, this is the Brazington kit, okay? And basically, it's the same idea as the Donkey Kong Junior Remix kit, okay? It's a daughter board with the Z80 processor. Basically, I removed the original Z80 processor, I stuck it into the Braze technology, or Scott Brazington board, and then plugged that into the Z80 socket. So let's go over here, and we're gonna kind of install John's board, and it shouldn't be pretty hard. It shouldn't be hard at all, okay? So what we're gonna do is, now again, I have the Brazington here. If you have an original board, you're not going to have this daughter board here. Instead, you're going to have a socket with just this Z80, and I'll show you in a second. So let's remove this, and okay, it's not too bad. The Brazington kit kind of goes on a little hard because the legs here are a lot fatter than the original Z80, okay? So here's the Z80 processor, and originally this was in this space right here. So when you have a stock board, you're basically going to remove this chip from this socket, okay? Now you also want to pay attention to polarity, okay? See that little dot right there? That means pin number 1 is like right here, okay? And actually, if you look on this board, it's actually labeled pin 1, okay? And if we were to look at the original board itself right here, pin 1 is labeled right here, and over here is pin 40. And also the dot is on this side, and if you look, all the boards, the chips rather, have all the little dots or the 1 pin notification things on the chip all on the same side, right? So up here, 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 etc. So when we put John's daughter board in, okay, we want to make sure that pin 1, which is right here, okay, the notch is right here, it's going to go in like this. So all the chips are all facing the same direction, and also pin 1 is labeled on the board too. So anyway, let's remove the Z80 chip here. I use a really flat screwdriver, okay? It works great. Just be careful. This is a little scary the first time you do it. Okay, so there's the Z80 chip. It's free, okay? Let's make sure we didn't bend any legs. It all looks really good. Okay, so pin 1 is right here. So we're going to line that up with pin 1 on the daughter board. So there's our notch right there. That little star right there is for pin 1. So we're going to kind of just put this in here carefully. Make sure all our legs are in. And just kind of firmly push it down, okay? And then what I usually do is I go all the way around, just inspecting every single side and angle and what have you, just to make sure that no legs are hanging out. Okay, and make sure it's in nice and flat. Okay. This side here looks like it's up a little bit, but it's probably fine. Okay, so all the legs are in. Everything looks good. So let's remove the foam, okay? So again, our notch is right here. Pin 1's right here. On the board, same thing. The notch is on the top here. Pin 1's right here. So we're going to go ahead and just line this up. Just like so. And if you're worried, get really low, look all around, make sure you're in the right hole, you're not missing a hole, you're not hanging over to the left or to the right. Okay, so it looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and just push down, and that's it. It's in, okay? So it actually went in really nice. The legs on his kit actually aren't as fat as the Brazington legs. The Brazington legs can be sometimes really a lot fatter than what the socket's looking for. So let's go ahead and look all the way around and make sure everything's cool, make sure there's no legs hanging out. And I'm just kind of looking all over the board here, and it looks fine. Okay, so we're ready to put this back in. That's it. Now, there are dip switch settings. Okay, there's soft dip switch settings according to John's literature here. So you can set the dip switch settings here, or you can also set those settings in the soft menu. So we're just going to do that, okay? But basically, it just says you do all this, you align the header pins, put the Z80 in, and installation is now complete. And it does say the first time we turn it on, it's going to give us the menu that's going to let us select the settings. So let's go over here to my game. I'm getting excited, guys. So I have to kind of put this back together the way I had it. Again, this is not your typical setup at all. But let's kind of come in here and see if I can make this neat again. So I had this like this and this up here. And I added another bracket. This is a real monstrosity I made here. It works fine though once I get everything into place. So when we're done here, I'm going to have Donkey Kong 3, Donkey Kong Junior, and now Donkey Kong Junior Remix. That's pretty exciting, guys. You know, I haven't watched too many videos of this. I kind of wanted to be surprised. So let me go ahead and put this edge connector on here. Now, again, if you don't have the edge connector, at this time you'd be putting all the little connectors in. But I don't have that. I'm using an edge connector adapter. All right, so let me go ahead and put my little nut and screw in here. Okay, so that's it. We're all hooked up. I'm ready to turn it on. Let me just tighten this up. Okay. Looks good. Just kind of double checking my work. Okay, so that's it. We're done. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the game on. And I'm not going to put the game in its hole just yet. Just want to make sure everything's working okay before we commit to it. So let's kind of move the cabinet a little bit. A screw in the bottom there. All right, so let me kind of move this so we can kind of film the front here. All right. Okay, so let's put the camera up here. I'm going to turn the game on. Let's see what happens. You guys excited? I am. I have no idea what to expect with this. I mean, I've seen kind of like seconds of the video, but I really want to just explore it myself. Okay, so it should boot to the Donkey Kong Junior board, I believe. Okay, here we go. All right. Power on game, Donkey Kong Junior Remix. So on boot, it's going to power onto that, okay? Settings menu, hold player 1 and player 2. Game switch, hold jump. Save scores all. Okay, so remix options, okay? So dip switches are in the soft menu, so we're going to select them right now. Lives 3, bonus is 15,000. I'm going to kind of leave that as default. And then every additional 150,000. Now it says coinage. We're going to change that to free play. Okay, so that's their remix settings. Dip switches are going to be controlled in the soft menu. Lives 3, bonus at 15,000, and then an additional life at every 150,000. Now Donkey Kong Junior options, the dip switches are going to be from the PCB dip switch. Oh, that's interesting. Let's say the soft menu. So I actually, we can leave it at the PCB because I had my, no I didn't, because did I have those in the Brazington kit? Let's just say the soft menu. Lives 3, bonus at 10,000. I believe that's the default settings for Donkey Kong Jr. So we'll just leave it at that. Coinage free play. And then save and exit. And by the way, controls feel really smooth. I guess there was like a lag in Donkey Kong Jr. I guess Donkey Kong Jr. was a really bad hack for Donkey Kong, and there's some little quirky stuff in the game that I never ever noticed because Donkey Kong Jr. has its own feel to me. Oh boy, here it is, guys. Let's just make sure everything's working. We have sound. We're not going to play yet. I'm going to put it in the hole. All right, we have sound. Oh, so we can play classic or remixed. Oh. Boy, that's cool. Oh, that's really cool. So, oh. So is this classic? I'm just curious if I could switch to the Donkey Kong 3. Okay, so I still have that functionality. Okay, so we haven't lost any functionality at all. Good. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put this game back in its hole. Let's set up, let's play us some remix. Let's really experience this game. I'm very excited. So let me put this in the hole and we'll be back. I'm gonna put my toys on top and all that. Anyway, all right. All right, we got it all set up here. So I'm gonna kind of raise up the tripod. Actually, I think we should remove the bezel, which is usually what I do when we do these John sucks at video game videos, or John's quest for. So, all right, let's raise this up. And let's try us out some DK remix. I'm pretty jazzed here, guys. Donkey Kong Junior remixed. So, I'm curious. Okay, so if I were to... Let me center this. So we should have actually 3 games on this cabinet now, right? We have Donkey Kong Junior, original, vanilla. We have Donkey Kong Remix, and then we also have Donkey Kong 3. And of course, we're doing that with 2 PCBs. All right, how's that look? Does that look good? All right, so let's kind of come over here, and let's just test this out. So I'm going to press jump. Let's hold down jump. So right now it's on remix. Okay, so if I hold in jump, it switches to Donkey Kong Jr., okay? And then if I hold down jump again, it's a switch back to remix. And it does. And if I hold in 1 and 2 and jump, it switches to my Donkey Kong 3. Okay, good. So we've got all 3 of these games here. So let's go back. All right, so let's start a game. So I believe that in the beginning here, it's asking us for remix controls or classic controls, okay? Because again, he fixed some of the little weirdness that was in the game, I believe. There's like input lag and stuff because this is like a hacked version of Donkey Kong, and I was reading some of the blog posts that he made over at the Donkey Kong forums about how he kind of thought the programmers that kind of hacked Donkey Kong to make Junior were kind of like the B team, you know? They weren't really the elite programmers. And actually, I don't even think Nintendo programmed this, which is the big story with this game throughout the years. Okay, so let's do the remix controls. I'm pretty sure that's what he means by that. Which I think are a little more fluid. But, you know, I don't know. I know as much as you guys do about this right now. Oh, boy. God. I'm gonna die. What? Wow, this is brutal. So maybe the remix. Okay, I think I know what it is. I think both versions fix the input lag. And it's, do you want to play the remix version or do you want to play the new version with the input lag fixed? I'm sure that's what it is. All right, so the purple ones follow you. That's kind of brutal. Oh, you can kick the food? That's interesting. Why is my game twitching? Something's going on here. Alright. Oh boy. Come on, get out here. Go. Go, go, go. Alright, so we cleared it. We died once, though. Alright, so far so good. It's kind of like the first level in Junior, but not. This is definitely like the second level. This is the key stage. So, now I never really noticed like the input lag and kind of the awkwardness of the controls for me was Junior. I mean, it just felt like a different game. And because of that, I liked it so much. Because it kind of felt like Donkey Kong. It felt like it was in the same world, but it wasn't. It was kind of its own game. All right. So see if there's anything new here. Any new animations or anything? Whoa, what's going on? Oh, my fluorescent light fixture. I think it just went out. That's why it's twitching. I wonder if I need a new starter. Oh, this is a bonus stage. How many? Oh God, how many can you get? I don't really know what I'm supposed to do here. Oh, you can't touch him. Oh, I was supposed to hit him with the fruit. Okay, I died. All right. So he didn't add any new sprites to this game. This is all the original stuff, all the original parts, the building blocks. So we got a free life at 15,000 there. I like how they fly out of the water like they're piranhas. That's pretty cool. Alright, so as we know in the original one, the red ones will turn around, the blue ones will keep going. Oh, jeez. This is pretty awesome. Oh, God, that's tough. Wow, this is brutal. All I gotta say is, John, thank you for doing this. John Kowalski, thank you. You rule. This is a dream come true. I mean, honest to God, I mean, like the minute I played D2K, the first question I had was, when's Donkey Kong Junior 2 coming? And here it is. Someone finally did it, John. Thank you. All right, let's try that again. right, let's try it again. So this is classic. Let's just see. I'm pretty sure that classic is the original Donkey Kong with some of what he called bug fixes, okay? Like the input lag, and I think some of the point pressing stuff. So I think this is just the right level order and all that, but he kind of fixed some of the input lag, which I don't know if is a good or a bad thing. Because I guess, like, things that were happening is, like, when Junior would go right, he would start moving right, but he'd still be facing left even though he was moving right. Like, there was some lag like that. And I think he fixed some of that buggy code in the game. And I think that this right here, what we're playing, is the original game with what he considered bug fixes. Now, I don't know if I really agree with that because, again, I thought it was all that little weirdness stuff was kind of just part of the game. So I don't really see myself playing this version, if that's what it is. It's just kind of like the original game with some of the input lag stuff addressed and maybe some of the point pressing things. But it's kind of cool though because we kind of have like a new leaderboard that people can go for. Alright, so I think we're gonna die. Let's just see if we can pass this to verify my hunch, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Oh, for God's sakes. We got one life left. I don't know why I'm doing this. I should just leave this level. I should just kill myself, but let's just pass it to truly verify that this is just the original game with kind of his quote-unquote bug fixes. Yeah, so this is exactly what this is. Alright, I'm just gonna kill myself. I want to play Remix again. But we haven't done like a John's Quest for a video in a long time. Have we? I don't remember that LL thing. Is that what we said, LL? Maybe it has. Alright. So we have a separate leaderboard then for Classic and Remixed. Alright, so we're gonna do Remixed. And there's kind of a white Mario or Luigi and a red one. That was always there, right? Was it? Alright, this first level. I see, so we can go kind of two ways, but that purple guy is gonna chase me. Oh, that's an interesting dynamic. So the purple guys are almost like barrels coming down at you. And there's kind of like vines over here. So this is kind of like a shortcut, I guess. But the purple guy is going to follow me. So let's see if we can kick this thing into... Nah, I failed. Alright. So I see there's kind of point pressing type opportunities in here. If you play the fruits all right, like kicking that pie. I do like how there's vines here, but it's not super obvious. So I do like when they bring back the original levels in these games, 'cause it's kind of like a relief. It's like, oh, I know how to do this. So you can see this is kind of my pattern for this. Not that I'm some pro, I actually stink at this game. Oh, for God's sakes, get out of here. on. Okay, so that's the second level. So we're gonna get a free life at 15,000 points. All right. So this level here, I guess you gotta do that. Don't land in the water. So when you hit the umbrella, it goes up. I get it. And then you get points for killing all those guys. No! Urgh. Pay attention, John. All right. It's pretty funny, those guys flying out of the water. I like that. Oh boy. So did I pass this one last time? I don't think I did I? Oh shit. Oh god. That was nerve-wracking. Alright, so this is the kick the thing. Alright, that worked out. Shit. Alright. We're doing okay. No! Ah, I made it to the top. This is fun. Alright. Oh, jeez. Whew. So I don't know what there's got to be a pattern to how those guys come up. All right. This is nerve-wracking. All right, come on. Wait for an opening. Alright. Oh shit! Get up there! Alright, we cleared it! Alright, we got one life. Alright, this is a new level here. So, I don't know, did he fix that spring thing? Oh god, the spring thing's totally different. So on the last game... Oh, jeez. So Mario's throwing these birds up, so we gotta get to that key? Oh my god. What the hell do we do? I gotta get to that maybe, huh? Ah! So I think I gotta go ant, and ant. Maybe? No, don't fall to your death. I don't know. What do you guys think? I stink at this, right? But hey, we just got it. We just learned about it, and I'm excited to have some more junior levels. You know, this is the kind of game when my buddy Matt comes over, because Matt's really good at figuring this stuff out. You know, next time Matt comes over, we're going to do another video, okay? And we're going to really try to figure out these levels. This video was kind of like an introduction. I wanted to figure this out. I wanted to just kind of get... oh, look at that. That's what you're supposed to do. You went like that. I just kind of wanted to get exposed to this. Actually, it's fun watching it in a tract here. Doesn't seem that hard, does it? So if you go this way here and then come down here, that was cool. so all right, let's stop here. Let's hang out for just a second. I printed a couple of viewer mails. This is kind of like a weeknight bonus video. But what do you guys think, huh? Pretty cool. So if you guys want to get one of these, by the way, go to the Donkey Kong Remix Twitter page. It's twitter.com/. facebook.com/donkeykongremix. Okay, you can contact John through there, and also, or go to Facebook at facebook.com/donkeykongremix. Now, he's selling these kits for $85. They're coming out on April 3rd, which is a few days here, okay? And so it's $85 plus shipping. Now, again, it's a pretty good deal because it basically has all the functionality of the Brazington kit, you know, the high score save, the free play with the track, and then it also adds, obviously, this Donkey Kong Junior remix version, which, guys, come on, you have to admit, that was pretty badass, right? So John, thank you so much for sending me that board, by the way. And thank you for doing this for us. I mean, it's so cool in 2017 to get like a new game, a new version of a beloved classic that's good and well executed. So I'm looking forward to playing that. And again, when my friend Matt comes here, I think we'll do like a little midweek video, you know, kind of a John and Matt plays games type thing, because again, Matt's really good at figuring that stuff out. So we'll be revisiting the Donkey Kong Junior remix very soon. But for now, go find John Weslowski on Facebook. Just look up Donkey Kong Remix, and also on Twitter. I believe his email is also donkeykongremix@gmail.com. But just double check his Twitter and Facebook first. Again, it's like $85. I think 100 was shipping, and he's going to start selling those on April 3rd. And also, I noticed on Arcade Shop at arcadeshop.com, the kit's also available there. I'm guessing, though, it's better for him if you contact him directly. So I'd recommend doing that first. So, all right, let's do some viewer mail. Also, before we start, I do want to remind you guys, you know, we're doing that raffle. We're going to be doing the drawing on April 1st, okay? And basically, we're giving all of this stuff away. There's a Famicom Mini in there with a Famicom Mini-themed portable monitor, an NES Classic Edition with a Nyko wireless controller and 6-foot extension cable, some Funko little arcade figures, some CDs, a Veggetti, all that stuff. There's like 10 prize packages. Go to johnsarcade.com and enter the raffle. We're going to do the drawing on April 1st, so make sure you enter the raffle before that at johnsarcade.com. And guys, those are some serious prizes. So, hundreds of dollars worth of stuff we're giving away. So go to johnsarcade.com and enter the raffle. All right, let's do some viewer mail. I'm just going to do a couple here. If you guys want to participate in the viewer mail, you got to email them to me, excuse me, at john@johnsarcade.com, okay? John, John, at johnsarcade.com. Send a question, a comment, whatever. Subject line, doesn't matter. Just send an email there, and we'll read it on the show. Okay, first one's from Trey. Hey John, it's Trey. If you remember, I talked to you about my arcade machine that I turned into a multicade using a Raspberry Pi. Anyways, I found a Dig Dug almost working for $250. Is that a good price? I really love Donkey Kong just like you. How much do you think I should pay for a Donkey Kong not working? Thanks, love your channel. Trey. So Trey, I might have answered this question for you on Facebook or somewhere. I don't remember. I feel like I answered this somewhere on the internet for you, or maybe an email. So $250 for a Dig Dug, that's a good deal. I didn't read this one on a previous episode. Am I losing my mind? So $250 is a good price for Dig Dug, okay? I would definitely consider a Dig Dug for $250. I think that's a really solid, great price for an Atari Classic, okay? Donkey Kongs, boy, you know, those games go for $800, $1,000, $1,200. They're just very desirable right now. God, I feel like I read this one. Did I read this one? I feel like these words have come out of my mouth before. So, you know, a working Donkey Kong, they tend to fetch a lot of money because everybody wants a Donkey Kong because they're great. And also, the community, like John and Jeff, they support these games, and really, there's a lot going on with these games. It's not just Donkey Kong. So, these days, getting a Donkey Kong for $600 is a great deal. $800, okay, $1,000, $1,200, you know, it's kind of like that, you know. It used to be they were $350, $400, then they were $500, then they were $600, then they were $800, then they were $1,000. So I don't know. Maybe try to find one that's not working. Maybe get it for a few $100. I don't know. But the $250 for a Dig Dug, that's a solid deal. This one's from Alan. This one's about MCR games. Hey John, I think I'm having the same issue as you did with your Tron, and it's not as nasty of a hum as yours was, but nonetheless annoying. My question is, would I replace the 2 silver capacitors on the power brick? Any help would be appreciated. So he sent me this photo here. Let me show you. Okay, so that's the bottom of an MCR game. Okay, this is a Tron, and we're looking at those 2 big silver filter capacitors. Now, my Tron, okay, developed a nasty hum, like, it was like a freight train, you know, going off down here, right? It was crazy loud. And the first thing I did was I turned off the fluorescent light fixture to make sure that that hum wasn't coming from the fluorescent light fixture, because sometimes the ballast, okay, can cause that interference, that hum. So the first thing I would do is disconnect the light fixture, just make sure it's not coming from that, okay? Then after that, I replaced those filter caps. Now these filter caps, I believe, are to like filter out like AC noise and stuff like that, and they can cause that hum. Now I got those filter caps from Bob Roberts. Now I don't know where to get them now. Is Bob still like doing orders and stuff? I really don't know, but I would definitely consider replacing those filter caps if you have a hum. I'll say this too, I'm assuming you have the original power supply, because if you have the switching power supply adapter with MCR games and you use kind of an okay power supply to drive that, you can get hum that way too. Like my Tapper had a really bad hum, and it was the power supply. So it could be any number of things here, okay? You just kind of got to go down the list. You know, do you have a good ground? You know, again, are you using a switching power supply adapter? And if you are, is the switching power supply good quality with lots of amps behind it? Again, this thing was humming like crazy with the switching power supply adapter. So I removed that and put an original linear power supply in there. So anyway, I would check those things. If anyone else has any suggestions, leave comments below. All right, that's it. Let's call it quits for this little midweek video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I was really excited to do this video. I went to the hangar after work and I went to my mailbox and I'm like, yes, I've been waiting for like 10 years for this. I swear to God, when I had D2K, it was the first question I asked Jeff. I said, when are you gonna do Donkey Kong Junior? And thank God John did it. So thank you very much. We now have a new version of Junior. It's gonna be interesting to see how the high score community embraces this too, isn't it? So anyway, all right guys, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends. Check out my podcast, Video Game Outsiders, at videogameoutsiders.com. We have an app, okay? Search for Video Game Outsiders in Google Play or also the iOS store. You can download our app and download the podcast for free and also get bonus episodes if you want to subscribe. So that's it. I'll see you guys very soon. And the next video, Robotron, we're going to fix that thing. So, all right, guys. Later and bye.